Hi guys, welcome back. Welcome back to my lovely channel, the Hot Wheels Mamas fam. If you are new here, welcome, and if you're a new subscriber, welcome. If you haven't already done so, please go ahead and subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss when I upload new videos. For those of you that are new here, my channel is about cerebral palsy because I myself have cerebral palsy, and I want to help those of you that have a disability understand just because you have a disability does not mean you cannot live a productive life, because you absolutely can. And for those of you that don't have a disability, I'm here to basically tell you not to judge a book by its cover, because you never know what you're going to get on the inside of that cover. It may just so happen that you may find a friend. And please do not judge a person that has a disability. So, for today's topic, we are going to talk about motherhood, what it's like for a person with a disability to be a mother. And you're not hearing this from any professional. You are hearing this from yours truly. Now, I have two lovely children. I got pregnant when I was in my 20s. And the doctors always told me that I would never be able to have children, but once again, I proved them wrong, and I will explain in a future video why I always prove doctors wrong. So, it is, some people say it's hard to be a mother with a disability, but I find that it's not as hard as people say it is. You just have to adapt a different way than a normal person does. Something that worked for me when my kids were younger, I had a bassinet, kind of, a changing table, a sleeping mat, a combination of both, that I would change them in. And then sometimes I would leave them in that, and I would strap them in so they wouldn't fall out. And other times I would just have them sleep beside me. Now, my daughter absolutely hated the crib when she was younger. She had to be on top of a coffee table in a bouncy to go to sleep. Don't ask me why, I don't know, but she loved being on top of a coffee table in a bouncy to go to sleep. Now, my son, he loved being in a crib or next to me. Both of my kids' first words were mama. And let me tell you, they are mama's babies through and through. The best feeling in the world for me is my kids telling me that they love me to death. And the hardest part for me really was changing their clothes, because as you guys can see, I only have one good hand, and I'm holding the phone with my good hand, but this hand right here is my bad hand. But I still manage to do what I have to do. And I still managed to do what I had to do when they were younger. Because nobody taught me how to do this. I had to teach myself how to do it. Whatever works for you if you're disabled, you have to find what really works for you. If changing them in a bassinet or in a small changing table that you have lying next to you works for you, great. But you also have to find what is your knack to help you help your baby or your your toddler or your child. Now, for me, the hardest part of being a mother is not being able to get up and walk. I remember the very first time my daughter looks at me and says, "Mommy, I want you to get up and put this away. I want you to get up and walk and put this away for me." And I had to look at her and tell her I couldn't do it because I can't walk. And that is the most heartbreaking feeling that a disabled mother has to go through. You can't get up and throw a ball with them and get up and take them for walks like normal people do. Now, that's not to say that I didn't throw a ball back and forth with them, because I found my own way to throw a ball back and forth with them. I found my own way to go for walks with them. I actually would put them on my lap and drive my wheelchair and take them for walks. And sometimes, like when my son was younger, I never let my daughter do this because she wasn't interested in it. And now that she's older, she wants to get on my lap and try to drive my wheelchair. So one day I'm going to make that happen for her so she can drive my wheelchair. But when my son was younger, I would take him for walks and I would let him drive my wheelchair, but I would put my hand over top of his hand so I still manage the wheelchair, but let him think that he was driving my wheelchair, but I was actually driving it. Because if I let him drive it, I would be out on the ground, out of my wheelchair. But that's not to say that I don't love my children to death, because I do anything for them. There's nothing in this world that I won't do for them. I love them to death. I don't care what people say. Being a disabled mother is the greatest feeling. And at the same time, it's the worst feeling in the world, because there's some things, even though I've tried it, there's some things that I can't do with them that I wish I could do, and I will explain that in a future video. But let's see what else. I still get them what they ask me for. For the most part, my kids are very spoiled, but they also appreciate everything that I get them, and they also know when to not push the boundaries. They're never disrespectful. when I get them things, they always thank me. They're like, Mom, I thank you for getting me this, because I know there's a lot of children out there that don't have the things that you're able to get me. So that makes me realize that they realize not a lot of children get those things. And I really appreciate it for what they get. And that warms my heart then more than anything, because they realize exactly what they get is a treat, because they realize a lot of kids out there don't get that. Now, my kids are, you may say my kids are spoiled, that may be so, but they also know in order to get the things that they get, they have to work hard for that, for the things that they get. I just don't hand it to them just because I can. I make them work hard for what they get, so they do appreciate it more. And I'm very stern with my kids when I have to, but I'm also very gentle with my kids when I have to be. I don't judge them if they need to talk. I let them talk when they need to talk. Because I know most people out there just cut their kids off. And that is a bad ideal to do. You have to let your kids talk it out, because if you don't, there's going to be consequences where they act up sometimes. And I'm not saying all kids do that, but most kids that I know, because you don't let them talk it out, they react in a negative way, and that's not the way to do it. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Before I go, please make sure you like, comment, and share. And if there's any particular video that you want to see, please drop it in the comments. And please go over and follow me at the Hot Wheels Mama's Fam on Instagram. That would be greatly appreciated. And as I always say, never say you can't, always say you can, and never give up. And please make sure you like this video and all my other videos. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.